posture workshop this evening. So we love to put on a lot of different workshops on different topics so that you guys get the best information that you need for your health. And that's what we want to be. We want to be a resource for all of our patients and new patients alike. And so if you don't know us, we're Health and Balance. We've been here since 1987, so what is that, 35 years. Dr. Gary and Dr. Lisa are my parents. They're the starters of Health and Balance and just have helped so many people over the years with restoring their health and from small injuries to long-term chronic conditions. So this is what we love to do. We get so much joy out of seeing people get well and healthy. So we're super glad that all of you have joined us tonight. And the hope for tonight is to give you some really good information on neck pain and posture, what the research shows about what postural distortions do to our bodies and our health, and then what specifically neck curvature distortions do to our health, and then can we fix those things, and if so, how do we do that? So when Dr. Gary comes up here, he's going to ask some specifics of from each of you what you would specifically like to hear, and then we're going to get going, dive into some good info. Like I said, Bay's going to be in the back doing some postural assessments for you, so make sure you get your pictures and posture stuff done with him. And then we're going to have an opportunity for you guys to come in and review those with us. So without further ado, I'll invite Dr. Gary up and we can get going on everything here.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, my daughter basically just gave you a little summary of what we're going to do, but I always like, anytime I'm doing any kind of a talk, is make sure that I'm going to cover most of the things that interest you, the reasons that brought you here tonight. My life was changed with fixing my curve in my neck, and I was injured in a car accident when I was 21. The insurance company said they weren't going to pay me for my car and my sailboat that were both totaled until I said that I was done with care. And the chiropractic doctor told me, well, physiology says that it takes 12 weeks to fully heal from a significant injury, and that during that time you have to keep areas moving, otherwise it wads up with scar tissue, distorts your posture, stops the movement, and then causes premature degenerative arthritis of the spine. I've seen an 88-year-old woman. Wow. I've seen an 88-year-old woman that was a ballerina and was kind of hampered through life with good doctors, good massage therapists, good posture, without one bit of degeneration in her spine. But I've seen a 19-year-old local little boy that when I examined him, I couldn't believe what I saw on the x-ray, because he had a significant degeneration of one disc. I would imagine he's not going to say that for long. I don't know, but it smells.
It's like the loudest car ever.
That is the loudest car ever.
Okay.
There you go.
Sorry for that.
What is that?
It sounds like a Lamborghini or something. But this little boy had been in a car accident, a whiplash. He was in a car seat. There was nothing bleeding, nothing broken. But the whiplash so severely loosened the ligaments and muscles of his neck that he healed with a distortion of his neck where his neck was forward. That caused bone spurs to grow and degeneration. Here's a 19-year-old boy already with degenerative arthritis. So you have these two extremes: no degeneration of the spine looks like they're 15 and never been injured, and a 19-year-old that many doctors would say, oh, that's normal for your age, but not for a 19-year-old. But for the 60-year-old, oh yeah, it's normal your age, you got degenerative arthritis. But over and over and over again, I see people's spines that they only have degenerative arthritis in a couple spots, usually right in the middle of the neck and right at the very low back, unless it's advanced. So the reason I tell you that is because it was put into my heart and mind as a youngster, because my dad died at 39, and I realized that good health and a long life are not just a given. Some people end up given cards that are hard to deal with. And so I remember not long after that, when I was 9, when he passed, but I remember dedicating my life to the work that God wanted me to do and the work that would make a difference in this world. And then, you know, as fate would have it, I got in the car accident, and then I got mercury poisoning 6 months later from some bad dentistry. Now that that car's gone, you guys mind if I open it back up? Fresh air. They said that they weren't going to pay for my car and my sailboat until I said that I was done with care. So what does a 21-year-old kid do that's already feeling better after 3 treatments?
Take the money.
Yeah, give me money. So that was a bad mistake. And 5 years, my problems got worse and worse and worse. And as my wife and I got married and she saw my symptoms getting worse and worse, she's the one who would not let me wiggle off the hook. I mean, I did not want to do the work that it takes to fix your body. Just like the kid that really doesn't want to have braces on their crooked teeth, right? How many kids go, yes, I want braces. No, but I do want a beautiful smile and I want to be handsome or beautiful. So they go through the process. So anyhow, I went through the process and it absolutely changed my life. And I thought all chiropractors were quacks. I didn't want anything to do with them. But what we find out, and what we're going to show you tonight, is the science and the research behind it shows beyond a doubt that you can fix your body, and there are ways to do it, and the science shows it. And the chiropractic is you'll see, is it's an ancient art from China. The Chinese have been doing this for 3,000 years. They've been adjusting the spine. It's just the chiropractors thought they discovered it in the 1890s when a guy who was losing his hearing got his first adjustment. Harvey Willard and Dr. Palmer adjusted him and he regained his hearing. Pretty cool. So that started it in the United States. So, with all that being said, knowing we're going to talk about a lot of things, a lot of self-help things, I'm going to show you a whole bunch of stuff that you can go home with tonight and start using for yourself without getting any care from us. At least give you some tools that you can use, because I want the value tonight to be way beyond your expectation. So knowing what Maria told you, and what, is there anything specific that you would like to hear that hasn't been kind of gone, or how to avoid it, and who knows what a dowager's hump is? Yeah, yeah.
Which back?
Yeah, it's just this hump that goes here, the head goes forward, the curve starts to go here, and then this fat pad starts to develop right there. Trish.
I would love to know how to sleep properly.
How to what?
Sleep.
Sleep, okay, good. Who else wants to get something out of tonight that maybe hasn't been discussed? Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, just some at-home exercises to
Yes.
strengthen and improve neck and posture.
Good. Yeah, Trish.
Also, like how to sit on the couch watching TV.
Good.
Oh, I got that.
All right, sit on the couch, you go to sleep. Good. Well, yeah,
I tendency to do that
yeah.
and put my neck forward and
Yeah.
round shoulders.
Yeah.
So I'd like to know how to stop doing that and how
Okay.
I'm constantly doing this and trying to remind myself. But I don't know why I do that.
Posture forward. Why and what to do about it. Good. I definitely have tools to show you about that. How many people, you're going to see a slide tonight, and here's how it's going to go. There's this young, not me, there's this young 5-year-old. Why don't you stand up, Daniel? Let me just look at your posture for a second. Look at this strong hulk of a man. What a specimen, all right? He's got great posture, good muscularity. And then as you go through life, you'll see the slide of that person goes from being here to there, to there. Sometimes the stomach sticks out, and then to there, and then we're there, And everybody's seen those senior citizens like that, right? Yes. Why is that? Who knows? What forces are causing that to happen?
Gravity?
There you go. Gravity. Anybody know the strength of gravity? How many knows, how many pounds per square inch? Anybody? You know, don't you?
Now I know the force is 9.8
Yeah. 15 pounds, 14.7 pounds per square inch is being exerted down on all of our bodies. So if you take a spring and you push down, it's able to handle the weight of gravity. But if you take like a steel rod, oh my gosh, that gravity is putting so much force down, right? That's why our spine is designed to be a certain way to handle the weight of gravity. But that's why things get worse over time. It's just the way it is. Once you get a distortion, it's going to keep on getting worse and worse and worse. And then we have to face the advancing complications. That's why I'm so thrilled when I see someone's x-ray, and even though it may be almost fused, I see a tiny little hair of cartilage still left there. We can still fix it. We can still fix it. It's going to take more work, more time, but we can still fix it. Once the segment fuses and it's completely calcified and the cartilage is lost, we're not going to be able to fix that segment. But we can fix the segments above and below and try to get it as good as it can get. Okay? What else? Because I'm going to move kind of quickly. Yeah, Liz.
So mine, as you know, has got worse and worse, and I'm a really bad patient. A really bad patient. Gary's been trying to help me for many years to be a good patient, but what I've noticed now is I feel that my legs got so tight that it affects my attitude and my voice.
Yes.
So that is probably now the problem that I need to get.
And when you say eating, is that like the swallowing mechanism?
Yeah, sometimes I feel as though I'm going to choke.
Yeah.
So I feel the muscles are spasming.
Okay. I've got an analogy on that. Yeah, go on.
What about those inverted tables? The things
Inverted
that
tables.
don't-
Good. I'll cover that too. Yeah, Pilar.
So she covered sitting, but like walking or anything to properly do that to relieve pressure off nerves that are screaming at you.
Mm-hmm. So your question is walking in a
Oh,
way
walk,
that
right.
takes pressure, walking or running in a
Definitely
way,
not running, but
Okay.
walking, yes.
walking in a way that decreases the pressure. And is there a specific area of the nerves?
The lower back and
Lower
the
back.
hip.
Okay, good.
I have one more for Blair. Are you supposed to put your shoulders back when you're walking?
Shoulders back, but mostly it's the head back. It's the head back, shoulders back. Yeah, because most people, when you look from the side, and I'm hoping mine is close to perfect. Last time I took an x-ray, we were looking pretty good. I think my x-rays are in here. But the center of a person's ear should be directly over the center of their shoulder. Now, I might be a little bit anterior. I'm going to try to relax. I did notice on my last x-ray that I did a number of years ago, it was still perfect. Actually, it got better from where I was in 1981. It kept getting better, better. But I did notice that an injury that I had, I thought I had managed it pretty well. But my last x-ray, I do see a distortion. So I'm now on a new regimen of home care exercises and treatment in here myself, because I don't want to let things get worse as time goes on. So that's more or less, just think about this. And also another one that I learned was, if you think about your guardian angel flying in front of you, and you have a little hook on your chest, and there's a line that goes right around the waist of your guardian angel that's flying, and just think about being lifted like this through life as you walk. Okay? Anything else before we get going? I don't want to miss one thing you guys came for.
What are some things that we should avoid? What types of movements or exercises when you are, if you have like that hump or whatever?
Uh-huh.
And two, I know
I'm stronger on my right side, this is my dominant side, and I have a little bit of a slant. I carry a lot of heavy bags on this side.
Yeah.
How can I even this strength?
Okay, all right. So postural distortions, in a sense, kind of how to fix them and things you can be doing on your own. The only people that we ever accept as patients to actually fix something have to commit to themselves that they're willing to do the work. Trish, you know what this is all about. Trish, you're a veteran. And do you mind if I just share a quick thing with you? The improvement in her x-rays from when we started and when we did the first plan of care, because I don't do these long corrective plans anymore. I did when I was younger. But even though it may take to do the amount of work like a remodel on a construction project, even though it may take somewhere from 12 to 24 months to complete a job, I don't write plans like that. The most I'll usually take is a 3-month plan. And I'll have checkpoints along the way. I have to see that someone's improving, and they have to commit to themselves that they're gonna get a high return on their investment. They're gonna do their own care exercises. If you're not ready to fix it and change it and do what you need to do, then why waste the time and money? Just the in-office care won't do it by itself. I'm sorry, it won't. But I'm all about being frugal and being conscientious about investments. You need to get a high return on your investment nowadays. Healthcare can be expensive, but if someone's gonna invest in it, you've gotta get a high return, is the way I look at it. So, thanks for bringing that up. It is important that you do the things that you need to do. And really, it comes down to 2 simple things. We have to restore our posture, and we have to restore our range of motion. If you do that, your structural problems will pretty much go away. Because now you're not fighting against gravity. You're actually restored your body back to what God designed it to be to handle the effects of gravity. So, but I'll explain how we all get this way. I think there's a slide that Maria made. How do we get this way? That's a good one. Okay, so here we go. Anything else anybody want to say? Highlights, dowager's hump, fixed hunched shoulders, neck and back pain degeneration, how posture affects your health. The scientific handouts that we have back there for you guys, I hope you take home. Everything that I'm going to talk about today and teach is based by scientific research. That's why the pharmaceutical companies hate chiropractors, hate us. We get people off drugs. We keep people from getting surgeries, and that's why they hate us. Some tools to get you started, okay. Dowager's hump, there it is. Pretty easy to see. Look, and they don't even draw this very well, but I'll show you. Well, that one does. See where the center of her shoulder would be there? Look at how much further her ear is in front of her shoulders, and him too. And it just creates these humps, and then you see it just get worse and worse. The biggest problem with this is that then finally the bone can't handle it anymore, and like honeycomb, if you stepped on a piece of honeycomb, it just crushes. And that's what that poor bone does, because we start to lose mineralization and strength of the matrix of the bone, which is basically minerals and a lath and plaster, if you will, of protein matrix, and the minerals are laid on it. But if there's too much gravity on it, finally, I had one of my patients was reading the paper on a Sunday morning, like he always did, just leaning forward, looking at it like, oh, the biggest pain. Boom, took him to the hospital, and finally that bone just went like that. And then that starts, it just gets worse and worse, because now the hump gets worse and worse, and then the next one goes, and then the next one goes, and then the next one goes. And it's just a shame to see this happen to people as they age. Posture is vital, and here's why. This woman has really good posture. Her shoulder's a tiny bit high on the left, and her ear's a little bit forward, but she's straight on, right down the middle. The spinal cord is the organizer of disease process, that's Irving core. An alteration in the segment or area of the spine negatively affects nervous system function. Deviation in the body's center of gravity caused poor posture, which resulted in intestinal problems, hemorrhoids, varicose veins, osteoporosis, hip and foot deformities, poor health, decreased quality of life, and shortened lifespan. They knew that back in 1957. How many people really heard about that? That was kind of covered up. For every inch of forward head posture, it will increase the weight of the head on the spine by an additional 10 pounds. Wow. Now they say 8% of our body weight is the weight of the head. So they took cadavers basically and they decapitated them. They weighed their bodies, they decapitated them. They put the head over there and they saw what was the difference in the body weight? 8%. So an average person like a 132-pound woman has about an 11-pound head. So if any of you have been in my office and seen the bowling ball underneath my office there, that bowling ball is an 11-pound bowling ball. It was Patty's bowling ball, but that was the size of her head. So, the further we get forward, and I'm going to show you guys later on tonight, I'm going to show you what it does to your low back if you are. I'll show you what that postural distortion does to your low back and what it does to the nerves in your back. So there's the description of that, and here's the one, the worst theme of time, because nobody except an astronaut gets away from the forces of gravity. Okay? It just gets worse and worse unless we take action. And I'll tell you the benefits are phenomenal. Loss of the cervical curve stretches your spinal cord 5 to 7 centimeters and causes disease. Paul Bragg, neurosurgeon. Spinal alignment restoration plays an important role in improving neurophysiology, sensory motor control. What in the world does that mean? Does anybody know what sensory motor control means? How many people know as people have gotten older, they take a fall and they boom? That's sensory motor control. Sensing where you're at in space and time and being able to control your motor function. It's usually the beginning of the end for senior citizens as they age. They take that fall, they may break a hip, now they're bedridden, and then you see the decline. I mean, how many people have ever seen that happen to anybody? Right. Yeah, it's not good. How many people have taken a good hard fall before? Yeah. How? Is that good? No, doesn't feel good. This one, research 2007 proved that a significant link exists between the structure and function of the neck and the health of the gastrointestinal system. Now, do you think the pharmaceutical company wants you to know that? No, they want you on Tums, they want you on all the other drugs for a GI system problem. But if you really think about it, this one here, this Roger Sperry, I want to just go through this. 1980 Nobel recipient for brain research demonstrated that 90% of the energy output of the brain is used in relating the physical body to gravity. Only 10% has to do with thinking, organ function, metabolism, and healing. And that's in the normal anatomical position where the curve of the neck is normal. So if you have forward head posture, your brain will rob energy from your thinking, metabolism, organ function, and healing because it will need more than the 90% to deal with it. Nobel Prize! Isn't that phenomenal? This is really not talked about too much. So one of my goals today is to really give you the knowledge that's going to give you the power to determine your future. That's my goal. Oh, Mayo Clinic. Forward head posture leads to long-term muscle strain, disc herniations, arthritis, and pinched nerves. It's still that same thing. You know what they call the normal curve of the body? Did you put the thing in there, the arc of life?
No.
Okay, so it's called the arc of life. And if you picture with me, for a minute, a garden hose, and I want each one of you guys, I'm going to hold every one of you has a garden hose with me, and you're looking in the other end, and I'm holding all 20 of them, okay? Now you're looking in that hose, and we're all looking at each other. Now, I'm going to start stepping backwards, leaning back, and you're going to lean back. What happens to the diameter of that hose?
Oval.
What?
Oval.
It's what?
Goes oval.
Oval, yes. And what happens to the diameter? Does it Get bigger or smaller?
Smaller.
Smaller, exactly. So let's say that we all know that the brain controls every function of the body. But if you now have a stretch in the spinal cord, what's going to happen to the health of the rest of the body? We can answer. It's going to suffer. That's what that research showed right there. Nobel Prize. Okay? Structure of the gastrointestinal system, we did that. Degree of disc herniation, cervical spinal cord compression, diversity correlated. All this basically is telling us right here is that if you have a distortion of your posture, you're going to have spinal degeneration. You will have disc herniations that will happen either in your low back or your neck. It's just a matter of time. And here's what they say: it causes pain, it decreases your immune function, it negatively affects your central neural processing, it affects your brain function, cognitive function, talk about Alzheimer's and dementia, it increases your mortality. They found, and I'm going to do this with you, but they found if you have this distortion where you have too much curve here, you basically take 5 years off your life. Let's actually do this experiment together with each one of you. I want everyone to sit up real straight, shoulders back, head back. Now I want you to breathe in and get as big of a breath as you can and see what that feels like. There we go, here we go. Blow it all out. Now distort your posture, go like that, put your head forward and do it again. How many noticed the difference? Major. So why would you not being able to get enough oxygen into your body, why would that shorten someone's life? Anybody know? You know, Sharon?
Well, because you don't have any vitality.
Right. You don't have as much oxygen going through your system to your brain. Your lungs and your heart have to work so much harder just to oxygenate your tissues. Just because of that. So they've already found 5 years, just take the 5 years off your life. Those years that you were going to travel, that you had all that retirement money with, you were going to go spend time with your grandkids, you were going to watch them learn to surf, you were going to take them on ski trips, and you want to take them to Italy and taste wine with them or whatever. Well, mail in. And it affects your emotions. Postural stress affects your emotions. Any of you guys remember my 4-system approach to health? You remember the structural part of us, the chemical or biochemical, nutritional, physiological part of us, the emotional part of us, and the electromagnetic part of us? Well, they're finding, see, if you have structural stress, it will affect your emotions. You're not going to feel as happy if you're in pain. Tammy, when you were suffering more, how did you feel about life?
Oh, down.
Down.
Yeah. And hearing about the 5-year thing makes me want to break into tears right now.
Yep, yep. And that's why I'm so proud of you for taking action to fix your body. You're doing great.
It takes a while, but
It does.
You know, I'm noticing incremental increases. Like I never knew that I had motion trouble. Because I had been overcompensating when I was driving, turning my shoulders, so I didn't realize I didn't have range of motion
Right.
until you pointed it out to me. So
Right.
that was very significant notice.
Yeah, yeah, I'm really, really proud of you. How many people, let me see, raise your hands, how many people had braces growing up on their teeth? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 back there. So how long did it take, and what did the process look like? Who wants to answer? Lucy?
I didn't have braces.
Oh, you didn't, sorry, I thought you raised your hand. Pilar, did you raise your hand? You raised your hand.
It was bad. My family has really bad teeth,
Yeah.
so I had 4 wisdom teeth taken out. I had 4 other teeth taken out, and my braces were jacked up.
Yeah.
It was 4 years and adjustments, and it hurts.
Hurts, yeah.
But then, and then after that, you have to have your retainer on.
Let me see your teeth.
They're kind of straight.
Perfect. They're perfect. What a beautiful smile.
Oh, thank you.
And then what did you do when they took the braces off?
The next step was to get a retainer. Either, they built one in,
Yep.
or you get plastic ones.
Good. So it's a physical process, it's a structural problem, it has a structural solution, it's pretty darn basic. All right, let's see. Chronic pain, back pain, disc herniation, cervical kyphosis, decreased blood flow to the brain, headaches, arthritis, restriction of vital respiratory function, we just all felt that ourselves. Strengthen weakened muscles, release the muscle spasm and scar tissue matrix, restore range of motion. How do we do this? So I won't belabor the point, but a lot of times people wonder, like, how in the world did I get here with these symptoms? But even bigger than that, how in the world does my body on those postural films not line up with the green lines where my red lines are here, but the green lines are there? How in the world did it happen? Anybody know? There was a study by California Ocean. They found that the average little boy, by the time he reached his 6th birthday, had approximately 200 traumas. If we go back, went about every 2.5 weeks, and if they have an older brother, they usually have more. But you just think about falling off the diaper changing table, falling off the bed, falling off the bike, the snow ski, the water ski, the football, the car accidents, the falling down the stairs, the trip on the ice, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Remember the physiology book that said 3 days of inflammation, 12 weeks of repairing what happened. If you don't keep it moving and adjusted and stretched in the process, tighter, 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 now you have a postural distortion. Now we start getting all these things happening. So really the key for every one of this is restore the posture, fix your range of motion, which strengthen the muscles. That's it. It's pretty easy. It is easy. And what I really want you guys to come away with tonight is just that you understand this is really simple. It's not complex. Even though I can get lost in doctor world and research, it's really darn simple. It's not tough, and it's not too hard for anybody to do. But the older we get and the longer these things happen. So here's how we fix posture. We do specific chiropractic adjustments based on your distortions. We then do tissue work to break up the scar tissue that's holding your body in abnormal patterns. So we use Graston technique, which is based on an old Chinese method called Guasha. And there's oil and instruments going back and forth on the skin. And David, you've had that already, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what it's bruising today.
Mm-hmm. And it can actually look a little bit bruised, but we're really trying to bring the blood up through the scar tissue so we can get it to stretch and open. Then we use deep tissue massage and cupping massage. Active release technique is a technique that our therapy team does. PNF is where you stretch something. Let's say like you're going to stretch a hamstring or you want to stretch your shoulder. You basically stretch it as far as you can, and then you push against resistance, push, 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 and then it stretches a little further. And then push, 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 it stretches a little further. Kind of like using a ratchet in a tool set. You push against it, it stretches further. Once you contract, it stretches further. Contract it, it stretches further. And these are things you can be doing with any stretch that you do. Take it to the end range of motion. Let's everybody try it, okay? Grab your head and pull it over to one side. Good, see how far it goes comfortably. Now push against your hand, but don't let your head move. Push, 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 push. Now relax. Look, it came further. Now push it again. Push, 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 push. Relax. And it goes a little further. Push again, push again, push again, push again, push. Relax. Even a little further. Push again. One more time. And let it go further. Isn't that amazing? It's called
Can we do the other side?
PNF. Yeah, let's do the other side. Yeah, we don't want to be sitting there the rest of the night like that. All right, let's go this side. So this is called PNF. Stretch it over, see how far it comfortably wants to go. Now push against your hand, push, 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 and then it goes further. And push again, push again, push again, and it goes further. Push, 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 goes further, and one more time, push, and it goes further. Isn't that cool? So I learned this when I was playing a lot of volleyball tournaments, and we would take a towel and put it around our legs because we want to stretch our hamstrings out. And you bring the towel around your heel, and you see how far you can get your hamstring to comfortably go. Then you hold it there and then push against resistance, but don't let your leg move. And then relax it and it'll come up an inch. And then push again. It'll come up an inch. So you can actually start to really get and what that's doing basically is starting to stretch and open up the scar tissue matrix that's been holding us locked. Okay? And then this is the other thing, just like gear systems, the only way that I know how to do it in the fastest way and the least expensive way, if we're all going to be frugal and good investors, you want to get the best result on your finances, is make sure you do your home care with any in-office care you decide to invest in. That will make the wheel turn. If you go to someone thinking that they're going to fix the whole thing and you're not going to have to do anything on your own, you're deluding yourself. I'd rather have you just wait, invest some money when you're ready to do some of your home care. And I also want to not make the home care too difficult for you. If you've ever gotten a home care plan from us and it's felt like it was too much, all you got to do is tell us and we'll just shorten it down. I'll just give you the top 4. But I do have some people, did you put Karen's x-rays in there, Mom?
Yeah.
Cool. I'll show you a miracle case who did in 3 months what usually takes a year and a half to do. And I'll tell you a secret. So that's the home care protocols. Restoring flexibility, where there's motion, there is life. When movement decreases, pain increases. Spinal joint degeneration will occur from lack of movement. If a joint isn't moving, it's starting to fuse. And movement hydrates the discs and joints for healthy function. Strengthen. Now this is really cool. If anybody wants to do some cool exercises, these are online. It's called foundation training. And basically you're activating the low back muscles and you're stretching them at the same time. Called foundation training, if anybody wants to look at that. I love the guy's work. He's a chiropractor. He's phenomenal. He's become a very wealthy man and he's teaching people how to do this stuff all over the world.
Say again what it's called?
Foundation training. But just remember one thing. Any exercise that you do or any stretch that you do that starts to activate pain, you've got to not activate the pain. You're going to get yourself in trouble. Okay? So don't push into the pain too much unless you're in post-surgical rehab where a trained PT would be pushing you to keep you from getting the scar tissue. When I was young, a bad sprained ankle, the orthopedist would cast it. Does anybody remember those days? You're not old enough. I'm older than you.
I don't know. I remember.
Oh, you remember? Yeah. But you know why? Why did they stop doing it? You remember?
I don't know.
Because what happened is that the ankle would fill up with scar tissue because it was immobilized. And it filled up with scar tissue and then it was degenerative arthritis and the person lost use of their ankle. So now they get you up. If it's not completely torn, they get you up and you're walking on it. They tape you and you walk. You walk it off and you get back to playing as soon as possible. Okay, some real life examples. I love this part. Postural improvement. Let's see. God, look at that. That's me. I was jacked. Look at my neck. I don't know if you can see these lines, but I went up like that. My neck was torn. The ligament was torn. It went forward, up like that and forward. This is 1981. You can see the date right on there, 1981, when I first saw the chiropractor 5 years after my whiplash. And that's why it kept getting worse. Now this was 9 months later. My neck went from there to there. The ligament healed. I got some curve back. And this is 32 years later than that, when I was 59 years old. And once you fix it and you keep on doing some work, I don't have any degeneration changes there, right? Because I got after it and I fixed it while I could. And that's really kind of what. So now here's Karen. Karen was. She said I could show these, and she doesn't mind at all. But she already had a disc herniation in her neck. You can see right here, I wish I had a pointer, but in the middle of her neck, you see how her neck goes up and forward? and then how small the disc is in the middle, and there's bone spurs on each side, that's advanced degenerative change. But look up at the top two vertebrae, the dark area in the between, perfect, big, beautiful discs. They haven't degenerated at all. So some doctors would say, well, Karen, at your age, of course, you have degeneration, you have arthritis. Well, if it's my age, why isn't it happening there, doctor, and there? What's the answer? Who knows?
It's gravity.
Gravity, exactly. And gravity's pushing harder on those segments because there's abnormal pressure on it. There should be no extra pressure, but when you make it like that, now gravity is pushing harder on those segments. And it's something called Wolff's Law, or the piezoelectric effect. What they did was on experimental animals, they would take on some rats, they would take and put like a vice grip on one side of the bone and keep the rat alive, right? But what happened in that, wherever they put the pressure, the body would start realizing, hey, this bone is under too much pressure. So send reinforcements, send reinforcements. So the body would send calcium and phosphorus and all these minerals into that segment because it's under unnormal pressure. And then it just starts calcifying and the bone spurs grow and the disc degenerate. That's how you get arthritis. Osteoarthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis is a different thing. Now look at Karen. I told Karen, you know, most likely, Karen, this is probably going to take somewhere between 12 and 24 months to completely fix this. She did it in 3 months. I said, Karen, what in the world did you do? I've never had a result, and I've never had anybody beat Karen's deal. I said, what did you do? Well, she goes, number one, I realized I'm not going to be able to be a dental hygienist, and I have to work. My husband's an artist, and I have to work, and I'm not able to work because she couldn't hold on to things. Her hands were hurting. She had weakness in her hands, and so she was motivated. Number one, you got to know your why. Everybody needs to check in. What is my why? Why would I want to do it? Do I want to do it for my grandkids and for my kids? Is that why? Do I want to do it because I want to stay active? Do I want to fix my body because I want to still be functional with my husband or wife? Whatever it is, everybody's got to know what their why is. She knew her why, and she acted on it. Secondly, she never missed an appointment. We had her on a standard rehab protocol, which is what has been researched 3 times a week is what works the best, and she did her daily exercises. And I had checkpoints every 12 visits. And then she said, yeah, and then I was never late. I made every single appointment. And I said, so what else did you do? She goes, well, I did my exercises every single day. I never missed one day. I said, yeah, Karen, but what else did you do? She goes, oh, well, I did my exercises twice a day. I said, you did them twice a day? I said, every morning, every night, that's the way it is. I told my husband, I'm not coming to bed until I do my exercises. It's like, okay. I said, Karen, but still, what else did you do? Because there's something else going on here. She goes, well, I'm really spiritual, and I asked for God's help. I said, what did that look like? Well, she goes, I read a book by Carl Symington. There was one, Carl Symington and the other guy will come to me. These guys were in the 70s. You guys ever remember hearing about, visualization, the power of visualization, the power of the mind? There's a Netflix video. I don't know if it's Netflix or moved to Prime. It's called Healed. Please watch it. You'll see what's possible. The power of your mind is called Heal. And, but she said she had read this book and she had read about this little boy who was in a hospital with an inoperable brain tumor. It was massive. And he was going down. And his whole life basically had come to laying in a hospital bed watching Sesame Street. They brought Carl Symington into his room and they said, is there anything you can do? I said, I have no idea. He came alongside and said, is that your favorite show? Yeah, that's my favorite show. I said, what if we play a game? Oh, okay, I love games. Well, what's the game? Well, let's turn off the TV and let's imagine that all the Sesame Street characters are going to shrink down to real tiny, teeny little people, and they're going to sing their song, and each one of them has a shovel and a wheelbarrow, and we're going to put a ramp on the pillow, and they're all gonna be out here singing the Sesame Street song, and they're gonna go up into the ramp, into your head, into your ear, and they're gonna take the shovel and the wheelbarrow and get that tumor out of there, because he all knew he had a tumor. And then you're gonna watch him do it. And you're gonna do this 3 times a day for 10 minutes. After a month, the tumor reduced in size 70%. This woman, when she had done her exercises, she laid back over a thing called the dental roll. Do we have a dental roll here handy?
Mm-hmm.
And those of you that have gotten your home care prescriptions should all know what a dental roll is. And you also know what a pro-orthotic is. We have one handy. This is Cassie. Dental roll and pro-orthotic. Just give me that, please. Get all bossy with my daughter. There we go. So this is a taller person's dental roll. This is a normal dental roll, and then we have a pediatric dental roll too for kids. It's a yellow one, and it's smaller, about like that. But she said, after I did all my exercises, which start with this is a pro-orthotic. This is part of the stuff I was going to show everybody how they can start working on this stuff. You just lay it right there on your shoulders, push it forward, and then you do a series of exercises. I have people do yeses, looking at the ceiling. I'm strengthening my posterior muscles, and then nose, and then maybes. I don't know, maybe. And you have people build up to sets of up to 100. Now this is the red one, this is where most people start. Then we move them to a blue if they're really strong, and they can go even to a green, which I call the Hulk, which is a lot stronger band. So she would do this, and then she would get onto this, and this is where her magic happened. She's laying down, and she lets her neck go back over that like that. And she goes, that's when I would close my eyes. I said, okay, God, I need your help here. I need you to help me break open all the scar tissue in my neck and help my neck to heal and help these discs to open up. And I just watch the hands of God, the angels and Jesus, and I just watch them all do this work on my neck. And she goes, I did it twice a day for 20 minutes. Wow. Because that's phenomenal. And you can even see the disc space opened up and things started to come down. So that was my fastest turnaround. That was in 1999. No one's beat Karen yet.
So Gary, if you're not spiritual, which is me, what are you saying then? You're lying there going, okay, nature, heal me, yes.
Yes.
But if, you know, my problem is that I have this complete fear of anybody touching my neck.
Yes.
So therefore I have to get through that before I can even start with the
Right.
surrendering to the nature
Right.
for me
Yes.
to heal it.
Yes.
So that's
So what I would do is just watch if you will, a movie of scar tissue. Like, have you ever seen what the inside of a golf ball looks like?
No idea how.
Okay, you have, right? It's filled with rubber bands that are all meshed on top of each other. And imagine if you had there was a guy used to work with us, he had a pastime, it was this quirky thing. He would take rubber bands and he would wind them on top of each other until he had a rubber band ball. It was made of rubber bands. Quirkiest thing, it's like, is that your break time, or am I paying you to make a rubber band ball? But anyhow, if you took a razor blade knife and you'd go ping, 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 ping. Just watch that. Watch your nature do its thing. When you're actually laying there, just imagine that those things are going to open.
Right.
Yeah. And yeah.
The analysis on that, there's another ball inside, it's filled with liquid. When the razor blade cuts the liquid, that goes into your eye.
When the razor blade cuts the liquid, it goes into your eye. That's a bad visual.
Yeah.
Well, forget
I was
the
a kid
liquid
when I did
inside.
that.
Forget the liquid inside. You mean there's liquid inside a golf ball?
Yeah.
There is. I never cut that much.
I did.
Okay, all right. So here's a couple, just a couple of people that I'd like to kind of give you a little bit of hope. Give you a little bit of hope. This person, oh my gosh, this is Michael. This was in 4 months. My gosh, thank you for showing me this. Michael did one of the most incredible testimonials for us. Have any of you seen Michael Rooney's testimony on our website? Incredible guy. Look at his postural distortions when we started. Look at how distorted he was, and this is only after 4 months. Isn't that amazing, before and after? Look at this one. This is him here. Look
No,
at how
that's
distorted.
not him.
That's
That's a different patient.
okay.
Mhm.
We're not going to tell that person's name because they didn't give us authorization.
But they
look
said
at-
we could share the x-rays, just not the name.
Okay.
Mhm.
But look at how much better this person is from there to there. That's probably 3 to 4 months as well.
Mhm.
Now, not everybody, 4 months or 5?
4.
4 months. So these are people that just like, they get the vision, they go, okay, that's it, I'm gonna clean the garage. Okay, that's it, I'm gonna rebuild the engine. Okay, we're gonna rebuild the bathroom or the kitchen. It's a remodel job. You gotta find a good contractor. He's gotta have good subs. There have to be inspections along the way to know that the job is being done right. And then finally, oh, and you have to get your funding together to fund the job, and then finally get to move in. And that's what the job is like. It's so cool to see. Now this beautiful, beautiful, wonderful man, I've been treating he and his 4 generations of family since 1991. Too far gone, completely fused. His injuries were so far advanced by the time that I got started with him. All I could ever do was help him manage his pain and try to keep him functional. Now, he was still surfing in his 90s. No, 80s, sorry, 80s. He died at 87. But see how there's no spaces in between? It's just like, all I can try to do is help you as much as I can. I'm not gonna ever overpromise and underdeliver.
You still catch a wave?
He still could catch a wave, but it was hard for him to pop up. I got him these little discs that you put your feet on, and he was on the floor, and then he would go like this, and then slide his feet up. And so he was having him do that at home, so he could still pop up. Okay, so let me just give you a couple little protocols, some things you can do at home. Then if you guys have any questions, I can answer them, and then we can call it a night, okay? All right, so I showed you that one. That's a really good one. That's called the prolordotic. This, for our patients, we have people basically be able to come in and do therapeutic exercise. We don't charge you to do stuff here. If you want to do it here before your treatment, you get on here, forwards, back, keep your back moving. It's called a wobble chair. It has a vibration machine too. We can turn the vibration on, and now it's shaking you while you're restoring your movement, breaking up your scar tissue. Those are a couple things we do here. We just showed you this one today. If you want to, see how his hand is behind him on this side? You can add a little extra stretch when you do that one by putting your hand behind you, and then do the PNF we talked about. Stretch it, push, stretch it, push. This one's good if people have too much curvature, that dowager's hump. You want to lie on your back and then just do some breathing exercises while you're lying on your back.
What is she lying on?
That's a foam roll. Yeah, a foam roll. And the foam roll is, that's a firmer one, but it works really well. Is that a picture of Lauren? Did we take a picture of Lauren there? It looks just like Lauren.
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah, do that about 20 times. If you got too much curvature in your back, or your posture's too far back, like that other person who was way back, we had them doing these.
I have a quick question on
Yeah.
that one. So you don't want your neck like hanging off the
No,
end
we
of that?
have it there.
Oh, I have that.
Yeah, right on there. And some people even will put their Denerol on there at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
and if the foam roll is too hard or too firm, we have people take their beach towels, fold it into fours the long way, and then put it on there, and now it's a lot softer to work on. Scalene stretch, this is where you basically can put your fingers in, if you got too much head posture forward, you can put your fingers above your collarbone. Why don't everybody try feeling this real quick? Put your fingers above your collarbone, and then now start to scan the muscles right above your collarbone. You're gonna find some that are gonna be kind of tight and sore. Everybody feel them? Now, bring your head down, put your fingers in there deep, right? Now, keep your fingers in there and stretch your head back the other way. Kind of hurts. But this is a way to do your own therapy on your neck. Once you know your postural distortion, start treating yourself. Because it's really up to us, right? If you don't want someone else's hands in your neck, put your own hands in your neck, right? Teach you how to do it, okay? Prolordotic, yes, no, maybe turtle. The turtle is just when you have that thing out there, there's another one called the turtle. And I took it out of the routine because a lot of people are putting this thing up too high on their neck, and then they're doing this and that, and then you end up with sore neck. So you have to kind of rest it on your shoulder and do it there. But the turtle is just here and back, here and back, strengthening all the muscles. And not only are you strengthening the muscles, but you're stretching the opposite side. You're breaking up the scar tissue on the opposite side. Okay. And then basically, my sweet daughter said, I'd like to give them all a gift. I said, I'm good with that. So here's, oh, did everybody get their postural films taken tonight?
So I think
Everybody?
we've gotten a few, and if you still want to do the postural films,
Good.
they can do that for you in the back.
So we have a program on our iPad. It's called a posture ray. And it basically takes a look at you. We take a picture of you looking straight ahead and a picture from the side. And then basically the computer will draw exactly where you are based on gravity. And then we can show that to you when you guys come in for a little complimentary consultation. We'll show you what we found. And then of course, the real way to do it is to actually have a postural examination done and then take postural films. That's where you really can measure everything down to a very precise 10 millimeters, 0.1 millimeter, 10 and 1% of distortions from normal. And then from there we can build a program for you with at least home care, and then if you want to engage in in-office care, you can do that too. And then she's having us do a special pricing. Usually we do it for $197, and we're getting some of it donated to the Friendship Shelter. It's a local place in town that helps people that have been homeless or have been addicted to drugs and alcohol, that have gotten their life back together. We always try to have somebody that we're donating to when new patients come in on special things like that. So that's what the offer is, and then I don't know if you want to tell them a little bit more about what you were thinking.
Yeah, so basically with the posture rays, we have to kind of reevaluate them and do the little thing, and then we can show you what they look like. So if you guys want to schedule that, we basically have times this week and next week, I think, Cass, for that. So that's just complimentary. That comes with your time here tonight, and we can review those with you.
One thing real quick, I'm just going to say goodnight. I've got to get to a meeting with my son.
Oh, did you make sure you answered all those things?
Oh yeah, let me see. Oh, sleep properly. All right, then, all right, give
Okay,
me one
make
more
sure
second.
those.
What about supplements? Are there supplements?
Well, there are specific supplements that really help your structural process. One is we use something called serapeptase, which is it's an enzyme that was isolated from butterflies' mucus. And it's in their mucus, and it helps them to chew their way out of the cocoon. And the cocoon is a matrix just like scar tissue. So we have people take that first thing in the morning, last thing at night. We give them high-dose fish oils, usually a couple with each meal if you can handle fish oils. Most people can. We give them extra magnesium because calcium does this to a muscle Magnesium does that to a muscle, and we need these tight muscles to start relaxing. And then we also use one thing called joint synergy, which has glucosamine sulfate, chondroitin sulfate, sea cucumber, boswellia, turmeric, everything that's been proven in the research to help heal connective tissue. Sleeping properly, the very best thing is to get yourself a nice pillow from Bed Bath & Beyond. Down is what I suggest, not synthetic stuff. Get a down pillow, put it one time through your gentle cycle on your washer dryer, then put it in the dryer to let it fluff up so it's not doing this to your neck all night. You get a new pillow and you're doing like that for months.
What about sleeping with no pillow?
You can sleep with no pillow.
Okay.
The problem I find is that some people, if they go to their side, now they're like that all night. I like a nice pillow that I can form. I suggest with a pillow, I would suggest that you pat it on your stomach first, bring it behind your head, and do at least one little roll, and then just right there. Unless you're a snoring
So sleep on your back when you're dealing with like.
Sleeping on your back is a great way to go. It's probably the research best way to sleep, unless it makes you start snoring. And then I would always lie on usually one side or the other. I can only sleep on my left side because I completely dislocated and tore up my right shoulder, and I've got a loose joint here. So if I sleep on my right side, I'm waking up with right shoulder problems.
But back to the neck if you're sleeping on the side.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. Most people don't feel it's better to sleep on your right side because you're not having the pressure of the lung be on your heart all night long. So if you can sleep on your right side, that's preferred unless you have a right shoulder problem. All right? So that's sleeping. You see, Tammy, neck and posture exercise is good. Sitting on the couch. Try not to get into a distorted posture and just lay there for a while, like, with your head like this and looking at something. You're gonna wake up with a sore neck if you fall asleep. Posture forward. Why, what to do with it, we did that. Neck, voice. Hopefully that research stuff shows you that organ function is going to be affected if there's pressure on those nerves. Inversion tables. I like inversion tables. I actually prefer something called the Invertrack. In your condition, I think an inversion table would be better than an Invertrack. Invertrack is where or inverted bod, there's two things, machines. You lean over it, it has a swivel piece, and you hang upside down. You can do crunches and extensions and much more exercise. But for you, I think an inversion table would be really good. Running, walking. This one I definitely got to show you. Everybody stand up and get a person right in front of you. Maybe you guys can join here. David, why don't you come with Lucy? I want everybody to feel this. And I want you, one person is behind the other person with your thumbs on their low back, on these muscles right alongside their back. So put your thumbs right in there. Down low by their low back, down low. Good. Okay, now here's what you're gonna do. Your thumbs are in there, pushing kind of deep. Now the person in front, I want you to put your head way forward like that, and I want the person in back to feel what happens to those muscles. Did everybody feel it? Bring your head back again. Bring your head back again. Back, now push it forward. Feel it? Isn't that wild? Now turn around, everybody, let the other person feel. Put your thumbs in there. Good. Now, put your head way forward and see what happens with back muscles. And then come back again. Isn't that wild? Feel it? Not your whole body, just your neck. There. That's why people fix their postures of their neck, their low back problems usually go away. It's that weight of everything forward. Now all these muscles have to engage to keep me from doing that. Right? People develop plantar fasciitis because of the same problem. I a lot of times can't fix the plantar fasciitis until I fix the curve in the neck. Because their toes are always engaged. Those muscles in the back are always engaged, and so are their leg muscles and their calf muscles and their hamstrings. Just by that postural distortion being out in front. Exercises to avoid. Don't ever do a shoulder press with your head forward again. Don't ever do it. If you ever see someone, tell them Dr. Gary's going to chastise them. Okay. Postural distortion, yeah, we got it. Was there anything else I can do to come alongside you guys in terms of why you came here tonight or give you any more information?
What one is tingling in your hands when you wake up?
Great question. This is compression of the nerves in your neck that go right down into your hands. Yeah, yeah. And did we ever get together and go over everything?
No, we have to.
Well, when the time is right, I'd love to at least show you what's going on, and then you can kind of decide if it has enough value to do something about it. Yeah, but it's the numbness and tingling in the hands, weakness in the hands, it's always coming from the neck. Yeah. Anything else? Okay.
Thanks, Dr. Arthur.
Thank you so much.
He's a wealth of knowledge. So good. So, like I said, we'll if you want to go over your posture raises that they did, you can sign up for that this week. And then if you want to get a full exam, which is basically where we do the full postural x-rays, the ones that you saw with the green and the red, we can do those for you, and that's in the full exam. A lot of you have already done that, but if you haven't, that's available for you at the 97 special rate for tonight. And we're actually going to be scheduling you with that tonight, and we'll just do the payment tonight as well. We have some of the equipment if you wanted to purchase this or any of this stuff, you can. The only thing is when we do the postural x-rays for you, we find out exactly how you need to do it. Based on your postural distortion, some people need to do thumbs up, some people need to do thumbs down. You're going to have the general at different areas in your neck depending on your posture. So I wouldn't really recommend buying that type of stuff until we do the full exam with you, and that's where the home care session comes in. And then other than that, we have our next event on November 9th. We're doing a skin care workshop. So we're talking about the secret culprits and a lot of different skin problems. So we're going to have Dr. Lisa here, and she's going to be talking about a lot of biochem stuff, and then we're going to partner with Roots Beauty. If you're coming, you'll basically bring 5 either skincare products, shampoo, or makeup, and we'll test you those, see if they're causing any problems. That's going to be a fun one. And then we're also doing the food drive in November, and then Toys for Tots in December. So always be up on our events. We're doing fun things. Thanks you guys so much for coming, and I hope you guys enjoyed it and got a lot out of it. Thank you.
Troy, very nice to meet you. Have a wonderful rest of your night.
You too.
That's fine. Because he's got what comes with yeah, we can do that Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. Wednesday. So Dr. Gary is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So in the morning, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whenever
Yeah.
it's a routine for him.
Yeah, yeah.
So let me just write it down.
Write it down.
I know. What do you do for it? Oh, you haven't done anything? Okay. Right. Sometimes it's all one.
Yeah, and then
So how long? There she is, Mo. You want to stop your recording?
Oh, yes, I do. Thank you.
But, you know,
I can't see it. Okay.
sounds good.